The ratings I use to rank and compare shows in my videos all come from a single company, the Nielsen Company. In this video, I'm going into why I prefer their rating system and the reason for using them over the usual rating websites most people are used to. Before that, if you enjoy TV, make sure to subscribe because I make near weekly content on exactly that. Anyway, let's get into things. The Nielsen Company's ratings are often seen as interchangeable or at the very least comparable with ratings websites like IMDb, Rotten Tomatoes, Metacritic, and so on. And while all of them collect user data on TV shows, the ratings they provide are on entirely different types of data. Rotten Tomatoes and the rest collect and display user and critic ratings and reviews while also showing the average score each group assigned each program. They let you see how well received the show was and allow users to write reviews of their own, which give a deeper look into a show through their perspective. Well, these are a good way to see how people who are paid to review television for a living and just regular lay people like you and me felt about the show. They're terrible if you're a company trying to decide if you should pay to run an ad during a certain show's time slot. Now, when you look at the Nielsen Company's ratings, you'll find that they're entirely based on objective data rather than subjective ratings and opinions. To quote the late great Mac Miller, people lie, numbers won't. Meaning opinions can change depending on anything, what day of the week it is, if that person had a good or bad day, or even if someone was thinking of a different show and ended up rating something different than what they thought. Basically, what I'm saying is anything can affect someone's opinion and therefore affect their rating. And that's the beauty of the Nielsen rating system. It's entirely based on recorded viewership data, statistics, and simple math. For example, a show like Bob's Burgers received an average score of 7.6 for season 9 on IMDb. The Nielsen rating it got was a whopping 1.04. Why is that, you might ask? Does the Nielsen company know something that I don't? Because a 1.04 rating doesn't sound that great on any scale. Well, that 1.04 isn't a rating as much as it is a percentage. That rating you see simply just means the show received 1.04% of the total number of television viewers within the nation. This takes the personal opinion and feelings away from ratings entirely and only rates programming solely on its tangible results. The way they go about achieving this number is pretty straightforward as well. They monitor the television viewing habits of a family or group of people and then record those results and enter it into a database. This contains the results of everyone else being monitored and it breaks it down by demographic. In 2014, it was announced that the Nielsen Company had expanded its number of participating homes by 50%, totaling almost 6,200 homes in the nation. These ratios of what a family watched allows the rating to be expanded to a national scale to accurately estimate the demographic viewership totals of every show. Both methods of rating shows have their place and merit, but with the average price of a national 30-second advertisement being over $100,000, companies prefer to use set data over ever-changing opinions. Here's a quick example. If you have enough in your advertising budget to run ads on one show's time slot and two options are available for a comparable price, would you rather know that the people who watched show A gave it an 8.5, whereas people who watched show B only scored it a 7.4? Or would you want to know that show A received 5.4% of the viewers within the key demo, totaling 6.9 million viewers, while show B pulled in 7.9% of the same demo and 10.1 million viewers? I would much rather use the latter datasets if I'm the company in this scenario. The former just really tells me if someone enjoyed what they watched and not how many people actually watched it. And this is the last I'll say about the user rating sites, but the biggest issue I have with them is that people are usually only driven to write a review if they really felt strongly about something one way or another. This means the majority of the ratings and reviews I see are extreme opinions of love or hate for a show rather than an honest, unbiased opinion. A quick side note on this, some studies have shown that the mood of a viewer can affect their buying habits, meaning how much someone enjoys what they're watching and whether or not it made them happy, sad, angry, or any other emotion can have a direct impact on the effectiveness of an advertisement. Those same studies also found that a negative mood can increase the likelihood of someone buying certain products while decreasing the likelihood of others and vice versa. This means that even if this mood buff was enough to outweigh the amount of extra viewers, which in this example it almost certainly does not, there still isn't solid evidence that it's beneficial to go after the show that's better received, rather than the show that more people saw. For these reasons, as well as my own personal ones, I also prefer the Nielsen form of data collection in most situations as well. They make it much easier to compare shows objectively based on their respective successes and failures, even across decades. It also might be due to the fact that I'm a huge nerd and have a deep love of charts and statistics, and the Nielsen ratings are nothing but pages and pages and pages of statistics going back 70 plus years. But my personal love aside, the Nielsen Company also collects a much wider range of data than most other data collection sites. Nielsen families are chosen based on a wide range of factors from ethnicity to age to number of kids and so on. They use this information to allow the data to be broken up into demographics, which allow the results to be broken down by something as specific as how many Irish people in Connecticut who are married and make over 50 grand a year watched a show, or they can be split up more generically, like how many people overall watched it. Basically, any amount of filters can be added in order to find the precise results you're looking for. By using the demographic viewership data Nielsen provides, companies are able to determine which shows and time slots are most advantageous to run ads during, as well as allow the networks to determine what to charge these companies to run their ads. The most sought after demo is always adults aged 18 to 49, as these viewers spend the most money on consumer goods and entertainment. This can cause a show with a much lower viewership count to cost substantially more to advertise during. The most wild examples I came across were from 2007 and 2011. Starting with 2011, Fox's The X Factor and CBS's Big Bang Theory were two of the most popular shows on television, with both landing inside the top 10 nationally. X Factor pulled in higher viewership numbers from the key demo than The Big Bang Theory, while Big Bang Theory, on the other hand, boasted almost 4 million more total viewers per episode. You'd think these 4 million extra total viewers would be worth more than having twice the number of viewers within the 18 to 49 demo, right? Well, CBS was able to charge just under $200,000 per ad, while Fox was pulling in an astounding $321,000 for the same 30-second advertisement. Meaning for a low upcharge of 120 grand, you could have 4 million less people see your ad. To go to the extreme, we have the year 2007. This was the most egregious instance I found while looking through over 30 years of advertisement pricing. But in 2007, ABC charged a mind-blowing $420,000 per 30-second commercial during Grey's Anatomy, while CBS was able to charge just under $250,000 per ad during CSI. This means absolutely nothing until you see that Grey's pulled in almost 5 million less viewers per episode than CSI during this season, with Grey's only major draw being that a much higher percentage of their viewers sit inside the 18 to 49 demo, whereas once again, CSI captures an older audience who are often seen as less valuable to advertisers. This equates to an over 40% upcharge to advertise during Grey's Anatomy when compared to CSI for 25% less viewers, really cementing how much they prioritize young adult viewers over older audiences. Like I always say, demographics make the market. I've actually never said that before, but those 4 to 5 million extra viewers are almost meaningless in the eyes of advertisers because statistically they're in demographics that don't spend money on things at the same rate as those in the key demo. Obviously, there are exceptions, and this isn't even really a rule because I know young people that never spend a dime on anything they don't need, especially not just because they saw an ad on TV, and I've known older people who buy anything and everything they see on television. TV programs are usually designed to attract a certain type of viewer based on their demographic. Not everyone thinks only in terms of numbers and statistics like I do, and they probably created their show because they genuinely believed in their work and truly wanted to share it with others. That being said, networks do have a final say on anything they put out, meaning if they want to change something about your show, unless you're already established, and sometimes not even then, you have to change what they tell you to, or your show will never get made. Anyway, these demographics divide viewers based on the personal information of whoever is watching the show. Which demographic a viewer falls into is determined by age, ethnicity, average income, yada 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 yada, the list goes on. But these are the big three most people focus on. I already said the key demo is 18 to 49, but this demographic is huge and doesn't really help most networks decide what programming to put out. For instance, if we look at a network like True TV in the early 2010s, we'll see their viewership was almost evenly split between men and women, while the majority of their viewers were in the 35 and older category with a median age of 41. They could attempt to branch out and pull in new viewers in a younger demographic, but it comes at the risk of losing their current older audience, and it costs much more than just retaining and expanding their current viewers. They would primarily want to make shows that appeal to those viewers, while companies whose products are heavily used by that demographic can more effectively target their customers with their ads. That being said, it's often just a delay tactic, as viewers will lose interest over time if you aren't constantly providing them with stimulating content. Especially if they're like, older people, because older people expire a lot sooner than younger ones. In that spirit, True TV has made attempts to branch out to a more diverse audience while remaining true to their TV. I'm sorry, I couldn't help myself. Anyway, they've stated the need to appeal to a larger viewing audience based on their own research. And in 2014, they rebranded to be a more comedy-focused network, moving away from their reality roots. This has brought on mixed results as they saw an uptick in viewership over the next few seasons, resulting in their best year in the decade in 2016. This is mainly attributed to Impractical Joker's explosion of popularity, which allowed the network to actually improve its viewership ratings during an industry-wide decline. It's easy to understand then that this mold breaking couldn't last forever, as the trend eventually caught up with True TV and in an accelerated fashion. Following this height, True TV would see a massive fall off with huge drops in viewership totals every year after. There's just so much more to advertisement and the reason that shows are even made than I went into here. I mean, I didn't even fully go into everything with demographics, but I would be here forever if I just kept going. Anyways, the key takeaway is this. The Nielsen Company collects data on user television viewership numbers from a diverse group of people and groups it by specific demographics. It then sells this data to companies who in turn use it to determine their advertisement and programming strategies. The methods of obtaining this data hasn't changed since its inception, which allows for shows from different eras to be compared while maintaining the objectivity to remove the room for debate. And that's about all I got. I hope this helped explain why I almost solely use the Nielsen rating system over anything else and why most companies in that space do as well. If you liked this video and learned something, why not subscribe to see more videos on your favorite TV shows as soon as they're uploaded? Anyway, as always, I've been Semantics. Have a great day today, everybody.